Hey, welcome back to Math Matters. Math Matters is the program for our students today. Many students, as you know, and parents, you've heard, and even college students who need a refresher because, as they say, if you don't use it, you lose it. So we are attempting to refresh your memories. That's all we want to do is stir up the mathematical gift that's in each and every one of you. That's our goal, all right? And we're going to tap back into proportions. We're going to solve a few real-life problems today. And this one's going to be a quickie, all right? So I know the ones in the past, although they've been long, it's been worth it. Sharing the information with you because there's so much to mathematics and I've got so much to pour into you. Would you hang in there with me? Will you? I hope so. So let's get started with our pre-class. We've got three simple, hopefully simple problems for you. I want you to tell me when you compare those fractions, those ratios, two of them, I want you to tell me, do we have a proportion? In other words, we can put like a scenario to them and like I could say something like, if it takes 2 gallons of paint to paint 3 walls, how many, in 6 gallons, will that paint 12 walls? I don't know. If it's a proportion, then yes, but if not, no. 5 out of 8 doctors recommend a certain ointment. I'm not giving anybody any clues, any tips or whatever. 5 out of 8 doctors recommend, I'm going to say, taking science in your middle school. Is that the same as 10 out of 16 doctors recommending taking science in middle school? The ratios are equivalent, then yes. If not, no. How about this one? 4 M&Ms out of 12 are brown. Is that the same as 6 M&Ms out of 14? Out of a package of 14, are they brown? We'll find out. Let's state whether we have a yes or no for each one of our pre-class comparisons. All right, so let's get to it. If you haven't gotten through it, you'll work it out together with me. All right, so here we go. 2/3 when we are asking, is that equivalent to 6 out of 12? So the question is, are they equivalent? Well, there are a number of ways we can work it, and you must recall we have several ways. It's always important to have more than one way to work a math problem. All right, so I can quickly do my cross multiplication to see if I get the products that are equal. Since my numbers are real friendly, I can say 2 times 12 is 24, and is that equal to 3 times 6? Nope. 18 does not equal 24. Therefore, the answer is no. It's not a proportion. Okay? Number 2, 5 out of 12. I'm sorry, 5 out of 8. 10 out of 16. Are they proportional? Oh, I'm seeing this one differently. Oh my goodness. I'm going to get a common denominator here. I am so glad we've got these examples. Because I see how the 8 and the 16, oh, this is so pretty. I'm going to take that 5 out of 8 and multiply the bottom by 2, multiply the top by 2, and now compare, oh, isn't that beautiful? 10 to 16, which I got here, 10 to 16. And yes, they are equal, so the answer is yes. They are proportional. Number 3. How do I want to work out number 3? Let's see. I can't get a common denominator, not very easily. I could cross multiply, but there is an easier way. What I need to do, I will reduce each fraction. So let's do that. I can divide out of 4 here. Divide 4, divide 4. Get equivalent ratios coming down. So 4 divides 4 once, 12 divides 4 3 times. Now I'm going to compare that. Here I need to divide 2. Divide 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Compare that to 7 divided by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. I'm giving the answer already. And now I can do my cross multiplication and see if I have equivalent ratios. 3 times 3 is 9. 7 times 1 is 7. Nope. The answer is no. Any questions? If you've got a question, all you've got to do is text it to us. We'll work it out for you. We'll even put a lesson especially for you, because math matters, right? These are some wonderful pre-class problems. It just reviews that whole concept of proportion and ratios and how we work with them together. When they're equivalent, you get equal products. If they're not equivalent, then they're not proportional. The answer is no. Here, we found that we could compare our common denominators. So we create a common denominator. And we found so quickly, when we got our 16 in the denominator of the 5/8, we multiplied by 2 in the denominator, multiplied by 2 in the numerator, it gave us 10 over 16. And sure enough, 10 over 16 compares, it is equivalent to 10 over 16. Let me just make that a 6. A better 6, better looking 6. 10 over 16, and yes, they were equivalent. So the answer here is yes. In this one, we decided that we would reduce each fraction individually, each ratio. We divided 4, and we divided 4, numerator and denominator, it gave us 1/3. We divided 2, that gave us 3 over 7. Then we did the cross multiplication, and we realized that 9 does not equal 7, so therefore they are not proportional. And guess what? Somebody came up with this, and thank God they did, because it's a beautiful thing. Let's look now at our guided practice word problem, because we promised that we would solve real life problems. You know, nowadays we have cars that can get so much mileage. My car is actually a hybrid car, and it does get beautiful mileage. I'm going to now erase the pre-class problems, and we're going to work on solving real life problems using ratio and proportion. Okay. The problem of the day, my car can travel 260 miles on 1 gallon of gas. Wow, that's an awesome car. How many miles can it travel on 5 gallons of gas? And then how many miles can it travel on 8 gallons of gas? That is the question. My car can travel, so we're looking at miles to gallons. Remember, When you're dealing with a ratio and proportion, you've got to keep things in order. If I'm dealing with miles to gallons, I need to work with miles, 260 miles to 1 gallon. How many we need ratios. How many miles can we travel on 5 gallons? 5 gallons of gas. That's how we set it up. Miles to gas, 260 miles to 1 gallon of gas, is equivalent to how many miles? I don't know. We're going to figure it out. To 5 gallons of gas. Miles to gallons, miles to gallons. That's the key of setting it up. We've got to set it up correctly so that we can get the right answer. In this scenario, in this situation, the only thing that I can see that we should do right now is cross multiply and solve. X times 1 is 1x. Bring down my equal sign. 260 times 5. 260 times 5. We're going to use the distributive property because I always like to review topics that we've already covered. So 5 will be my multiplier times 260. So we have 200 plus, okay, this is 260 times 5. This is 260 times 5. All right, so 5 times 200. We know that 5 times 2 is 10, and then we need to attach 2 zeros to complete our answer. And then 5 times 60, 5 times 6 is 30, and attach 1 zero to complete our answer. So our final answer is 1,300, because if I bring this over and add, I get 1,300. 1,300 what? Which one were we looking for? The miles. 1,300 miles. We can't mix it up. We don't want to say it's 1,300 gallons. No, 1,300 miles for 5 gallons of gas. That's an awesome car. Okay. All right. So we figured out how much we can travel, how many miles we can travel with 5 gallons of gas. If we can travel 260 miles on 1 gallon of gas, how many miles can we travel on 5 gallons of gas? And we can travel 1,300 miles, or 1,300 miles on 5 gallons of gas. The next question says, if we can travel 260 miles on 1 gallon of gas, how many miles can we travel on 8 gallons of gas? So we're going to rewrite miles to gallons. And we're still looking at the same car, 260 miles for 1 gallon of gas is equivalent to how many miles for 8 gallons of gas? That's the question. How many miles can we travel for 8 gallons, or with 8 gallons of gas? All right. Once again, we will cross multiply and solve. 1 times x is x, and I'm going to write it over here. Actually, I could just erase this because we have that written. And we've taken care of the 5 gallons of gas. We got that done. The only thing that's missing now is how many miles can we travel on 8 gallons of gas. So in our cross multiplication, we have 1 times x is equal to, because 1 times x is 1x. Keep that in mind for algebra. You're going to need it. 260 times 8. Let's use our distributive property again. We have 8 times 200 plus 60. This is 260 times 8. This is 260 times 8. We need to multiply. 8 times 2 is 16, and attach the 2 zeros to complete our answer. 8 times 6 is 48, and attach 1 0 to complete our answer. So we need to add them up together. And we get 0, we get 8, we get 10, we get 7, and 1. So, 8, 10, and 7. Oh, wait a minute. Let me do this again. 0, 8, 10, carry the 1, and we get 2. So, we have an answer of 2,080 what? Miles. 2,080 miles on 8 gallons of gas. You know what? You can then determine how much is it going to cost for you to go to Florida, for example. Or how much does it cost for you to go to New York, depending on the number of miles it's away from you. So there are so many uses to ratios and proportions. So many, many uses. All right, so this is just one example. We're going to look at a few more problems that we can solve right now. Okay. All right. Let's erase what we have here. And we're going to look at, now we have just problems that I want to be able to solve for the unknown. I want to find the unit rate to solve for this. Remember, unit rate represents 1. Represents 1. I'm going to use a box to represent that. It says use the unit rate to solve this problem. And you can solve it by using your number set. 12 hats cost $4. So we're going to use hats to dollars. 12 hats cost $4. How many hats can I get for $5? Maybe I shouldn't use hats, but we'll see. How many hats can I get for $5? Well, if I can get 12 hats for $4, and we're finding the unit rate, 12 hats for $4, 1 hat for X number of dollars. Or how many hats for $1. That's how it goes. How many hats for $1? Do that first. 12 hats, once again, hats to dollars. 12 hats for $4. How many hats for $1? Cross multiply. And we get 4x is equal to 12. And then we divide out the 4 on both sides. 4's cancel and x is equal to 3. So 1 hat costs $3. That's pretty simple now. If 1 hat costs $3, how many hats? How much does it cost for $5? 1 hat is equal to $3. How many hats can I get for $5? We're going to get a hat and some. So let's figure it out. I can divide here and divide here. I will get 4 times some number. I'll put it up here. 4 times, I'll use x again. 4 times x is equal to 12 times 5 is 60. Divide 4 on both sides. And x is equal to 60 divided by 4. 4 goes into 6 1 time. Come down with 20. 4 goes into 20 5 times. 15. 15. So x in this situation, if I can get 12 hats for $4, I can get 15 hats for $5. Okay? So I can come back up and we can extend this to be 15. 15 hats for $5. Make sense? I hope so. All right. All right, let's continue. And we can go on to our next problem. Still looking at ratios and proportions and solving the equation. It is so very, very, very important to do that. All right? And to know how to solve equations that look like fractions. All right? You need to know. All right, let's look at our next problem. We have, I'll just number this, number 1, x over 9 is equal to 4 over 6. Number 2, 6 over 8 is equal to n over 20. And number 3, why don't you go ahead while I write down number 3, go ahead and solve for the variable, solve for the variable. Sometimes it'll be x, sometimes it'll be n, sometimes it'll be another letter. 9, this is number 3, 9 out of 12 is equal to 3 out of x. Go ahead and solve. I'm going to give you 2 minutes, as we've done in the past, to solve these equations dealing with ratio and proportion. Let me know what the variable is equivalent to. All right? You've got 2 minutes. Get started. Okay. Need another minute? Or another 15 seconds? Time is moving. Woo! Okay, they say time goes by fast when you're having fun. And we're having a ball today. Okay, let's look. First thing I need to do in this scenario, I could reduce this. Yeah, I could. But these numbers are pretty friendly. So let's just go ahead and cross multiply. If I'm going to solve here. To the right, I get 6x is equal to the left, I get 36. 4 times 9 is 36. X times 6 is 6x. You're going to need this for later on. Trust me. We need to then divide out whatever's being multiplied by the letter or the variable it's called. We need to divide it out. What's the opposite of dividing by? Oh, I done gave the answer. What's the opposite of multiplying by 6? Divide by 6. Divide by 6 on both sides of your equal sign. What you do to the left, you must do to the right to keep things balanced. 6's will cancel and x is equal to 6. 36 divided by 6 is 6. Okay? Once you get down to the answer, you can always go back up and check it to make sure. We said x is equal to 6, so let's do a quick check. 6 times 6 is 36. 9 times 4 is 36. 36 equals 36, therefore it checks. Number 2, 6 over 8 is equal to some number over 20. Ratio and proportion. Solving for the unknown. In other words, if 6 gallons of paint will paint 8 walls, how many gallons of paint do I need to paint 20 walls? I don't have to guess. I can figure it out by cross multiplying and solving for the unknown. Awesome skill. Awesome. Okay, 6 times 20. I know 6 times 2 is 12. Attach 1 0. Equals 8n. 8 times n is equal to 8n. Divide both sides by what? Did you say 8? You're good. Okay, the 8's will cancel, and n is equal to 120 divided by 8. Let's do that off to the side. 120 divided by 8. 8 goes into 1. Nope. But 8 goes into 12. One time. 1 times 12. 1 times 8 is 8. And we subtract. We come down with 40. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. Subtract and no remainder. So n is equal to 15. We come down with n equals 15. You could actually go back up into the problem and check it. 6 over 8 is equal to 15 over 20. So 6 gallons of paint. With 6 gallons, you can paint 8 walls. With 15 gallons, you can paint 20 walls. So you don't have to buy 13 gallons of paint. You don't have to buy 16 gallons of paint. You can get the exact number. 15 gallons of paint will paint 20 walls. It's so cool. Number 3, and that will bring us almost to the conclusion of our lesson for today. 9 out of 12 is equivalent to 3 out of how many? Let me give a scenario for this one. 9 out of 12 students passed their test with 100. And is that the same as 3 out of how many students? 9 out of 12 students out of 100. in one class. 3 out of, I don't know how many students getting 100 would be an equivalent ratio to form a proportional, to make it proportional. All right, let's see. Let's see. Cross multiply. Oh, I can see it right now. 9 times x. 9 times x is 9x. 12 times 3 is 36. And now we need to divide out the common factor. Divide out the 9 on both sides, even before we deal with the common factor. Yeah. Okay, we can divide out the 9s. The 9s will cancel. And we bring down the x. The 1x is equal to, and we can divide out the common factor of 9. I can divide 9 here and divide 9 here. And 36 divided by 9 is 4. And 9 divided by 9 is 1. And we do know that 4 over 1 is equal to 4. So, if 9 out of 12 students got 100 in one class, it better be 3 out of 4 students getting 100 in another class to be proportional. Okay, so that would be 4 here. And we can simply do our cross multiplication, and 3 times 12 is 36, and 9 times 4 is 36, and 36 equals 36. All right, so that, my friends, is the answer. The answer here is 4. Before we end, I want to give you a few of these problems for homework so that you can work on them, and then when we get back together again, you'll be good to go. Let's look at this one. A student buys 6 drawing pencils for $3.90. How much does it cost for 10 pencils? We'll look at this one together. I don't want to leave you without more word problems. Okay, a student buys 6 drawing pencils, so 6 pencils for $3.90. How much does it cost for 10 pencils? So 10 pencils would equal how much money? I have no idea. So let's set it up as a ratio and proportion. So we're going to cost. Okay? So pencils, 6 pencils cost $3.90. 10 pencils cost, I don't know. Six pencils cost $3.90. 10 pencils cost, I don't know. So let's cross multiply and figure it out. $3.90 times 10. $3.90 times 10. So off to the side, or we can go ahead and multiply. We'll go ahead and multiply. And I know what that's going to be already. So we're multiplying the, now let's do it off to the side. $3.90 times 10. Oh, Lord. So 1 times, say this the easiest way I can. The easiest way I can. Whenever you're multiplying decimals, and I seem to be looking at this in the glare. I don't want to, so I'm going to bring it over here. $3.90 times 10. Whenever you're multiplying decimal numbers, this is a quick, beautiful review. You don't have to line up your decimals. You can just go ahead and multiply and then put your decimal in. Let that be the last thing you do. All right? You can count over the number of places your decimal moved in the problem. Put that in your answer. So let's go ahead and multiply as if the decimal wasn't there. I know when I multiply numbers that end in 0, I know what I usually do. I multiply the digits that are not 0. So 39 times 1 is 39. Then I want to attach the same number of zeros that appear in my problem, put those in my answer to complete it. Then the last step, students, I need to count over the number of places that that my decimal moved in the problem, move it the same number of places in my answer. So this answer becomes 39. Okay? So $3.90 times 10 is 39. Is equal to 6x. Now I need to divide both sides by 6. Whatever number that's multiplied by that variable, you need to divide it out. The opposite of multiplying by 6 is to divide by 6. What you do on one side, you do on both. Bring down my x is equal to 39 divided by 6. Let's do that off to the side. Six goes into 39 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36. Bring down my 3. So we're actually talking about cost. I look back at my problem and I'm talking about cost. I'm not talking about pencils. I'm talking about cost. So I can attach my decimal, put my decimal in my answer and put in at least, we could put 2 zeros since our money runs 2 decimal places, but it's going to be all right. So I want to drop down 1 0. 6 goes into 30 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. Break down my next 0. 6 goes into 0 1 time. 1 times 6 is 0 and no remainder. So now we realize that it's going to cost $6.50. So the question is, if I could buy 6 pencils for $3.90, how much does 10 pencils cost? Cost $6.50. So if you want 10 pencils, you better have $6.50 in order to figure it out. You better have $6.50 or else you're not going to have enough. Okay? So ratios and proportions allows us to predict what's going to happen, allows us to calculate ahead of time without actually going to the register and saying, okay, can I get 10 pencils? And you only have $6. That's embarrassing. You better know your math. All right? And you don't want somebody to cheat you and charge you $7 for 10 pencils. No, that won't work either. Should only charge me $6.50, not $7. So you better know your math, or else you're gonna be in trouble. All right, let's look at a few more. If 5 notebooks, I love these problems. Always gives us a beautiful scenario. If 5 notebooks, I'm going to say 5 books, cost $7.85, how much does 3 notebooks cost? And I'm going to use C for cost. I don't know. But I do know I recognize this bad boy as a ratio and proportion. And I'm going to, I love videos because you can always go back. All right, you can always archive and go back to where you were. So 5 notebooks. 5 notebooks cost, and I'm going to write it up so we can keep the pattern going. So we're going to do a books to cost. So 5 notebooks cost $7.85. The question is, 3 notebooks cost, we said we were going to use the C, cost. Let me turn that 8 into a nice looking 8. We're going to figure it out. And how we figure it out is we simply cross multiply. Across that equal sign, mind you. So here on the right, I get 5C is equal to 3 times 785. So let's look at that. I'm going to use, as we did in the past, I'm going to use the distributive property because I need you to witness something. We have 3 times $7.85. I'm going to use the distributive property. 3 is my multiplier times $7 plus, yeah, I can do it that way, plus 80 cents. I need my decimal, plus 5 cents. Okay, 7 plus 80 cents plus 5 cents is $7.85. Okay, using the distributive property. 3 times 7 is 21 plus 3 times 80 cents. Well, you know how to multiply, and then we'll put in our decimal later. 3 times 8 is 24. And attach 1 0, but we need to move our decimal 2 places. 1 2 1 2. So that's $2.40. So 3 times 80 cents is $2.40. Plus 3 times 5 cents. Well, we already know that that's 15 cents. Okay? So now we need to add up all of our money. We've got $21 plus, and I'm going to do this for the sake of those who need this information. 21, we know that when we're adding decimals, you need to line up your decimals, plus 240 plus 1 plus, 15 cents. Add it all up. So, line up those decimals. That is so important. Here we have 5. We have 5. Break down our decimal. We have 3. And we have 2. So $23.55. But that's just the 3 times the $7.85 is equal to $23.55. But we're not done. We need to divide both sides by 5. Dividing both sides by 5. Here my 5's cancel and my cost is coming up. Once I get to this point, I need to divide 5 into $23.55. Let's do that. 23.55 divided by 5. 5 goes into 20. Oh, before we do that, we need to put our decimal in our answer. 5 goes into 23 4 times 5 is 20. Come down with 3, come down with the 5. We can now ignore the decimal because we put it in the answer already. 5 goes into 35 7 times. Excuse me. 7 times 5 is 35. Subtract, bring down the last 5. 5 goes into 5 1 time. 1 times 5 is 5. And we subtract, no remainder. So we have here $4.71 is the cost. So we were looking at books to cost. If 5 books cost $7.85, 3 books cost $4.71, because we just calculated. That's our answer. Make sense? If you need to review, please don't hesitate to go back over the problem and look at it again. The more you see it, the easier they become. I'm only going over stuff that's fun, y'all, and practical, and makes sense in a short time. All right, I'm enjoying this a lot. I am truly, truly enjoying it. And all of these problems come from an actual textbook. So you're learning real material. Excuse me, you're learning real material for your classroom, for your tests, for standardized tests, for college. You're learning real material. Okay? All right. We're going to solve 3 or 4. I'm going to give you 4 proportions to solve, and then we're going to come back and review them. So I'll give you a few minutes to solve the next several proportions. All right, here we go. Number 1. 1/5 is equal to W over 10. Remember, we can use any variable we choose. Any letter we decide to use, we can use it. Number 2. 3 over D is equal to 12 over 4. Number 3. N over 3 is equal to 6 over 6. And number 4, 2 over 1 is equal to 4 over Z. Solve for the variable. Going to bring this one down. Once again, I feel like we're in the glare. Going to bring it down. 2 over 1 is equal to 4 over Z. And this is number 4. Okay. All right, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to work on them. Then we'll come back. Solve for the unknown, for the variable. This is some cool math. One more minute. We're getting ready to come on over. These should be pretty cool. Pretty cool. Cross multiply, or, oh wow, I'm seeing this. This is awesome. Okay. I can solve this real quick. I could say, what did I do to the 5 to get 10? Multiply by 2. Do the same thing to the top. And W is equal to 1 times 2, which is 2. So simple. Okay? Number 2 here. Ooh, I could do the same thing. 3 over D is equal to 12 over 4. What did I do to 3 to get 12? Multiply by 4. Multiply by 4. Oh, that's not going to help. Nope, that's not going to help. So we wouldn't be able to do it that way. We definitely have to cross multiply, because the reason it's not going to help, because now I'm getting a 4D down here. Nope. So all the strategies won't always help. What I could do, what I could do, I could work with this 12 and this 4 and reduce this. So I see a common 4 here, so I can divide 4 here and divide 4 here. Dividing 4 will give me that 3, and dividing 4 here, D would have to equal 1. D has to equal 1. So many different strategies. I love math. Okay, let's do the traditional, use the traditional way. Although I could multiply, or actually I could divide 6 here, divide 6, divide by 2, divide by 2. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and cross multiply and solve it this way, because I wanted to use different strategies for each one. So here I get 6 times 3 is 18, is equal to 6n. Divide both sides by 6. 6 cancel, and n is equal to 3. Yeah. If I use the strategies I used in numbers 1 and 2, I could divide by 2 here and divide by 2 here. 6 divided by 2 will give me that 3. And then 6 divided by 2 has to equal 3 over here. So as we said earlier, n is equal to 3. Number 4, let's do our cross multiplication. So many different ways to work it. We get 2z is equal to 4. Divide out 2 on both sides. The 2's cancel. And we get z is equal to 2. Any questions at all? All righty. Now here, I'm going to give you guys some homework. Get her done. As they say, get it done. Can you use a calculator? Yeah, try not to, because you really need the skills on how to deal with these numbers and decimals, whether they're whole numbers or mixed numbers or dealing with money. So there's a lot to be considered here with these ratio and proportions. I want you to solve these 8 problems that I'm about to put on the board. And then we'll be able to go on from there. All right. Nothing's better than practice, practice, practice. Number 1, 35 over 7 is equal to some number over 21. Number 2, 12 over 4 is equal to some number over 28. Number 3, some number over 57 is equal to 38 over 19. Number 4, 190 over some number is equal to 114 over 3. Number 5, 20 over some number is equal to 55 over 11. Number 6, 32 over 8 is equal to 40 over some number. Number 7, if 3 quarts of milk, 3 quarts of milk costs $6.75, how much will 7 quarts of milk cost? How much? Okay, that's number 7. Number 8. If a recipe for 10 ounces of lemon pie requires 8 ounces of cream, how much cream do you need for 36-ounce lemon pie? Let me write that down for number 8. Ten ounces of lemon. Number 8. I'll just put it over here. Sorry. Number 8. 10 ounces of lemon for, let me use a different scenario. I'll use a different one. 10-ounce pizza requires 8 ounces of cheese. 10-ounce pizza requires 8 ounces of cheese. The question is, a 36-ounce pizza requires how much cheese? That's the question. Requires how much cheese? These problems we are going to review in our next session. Okay? So take it, ponder over it this week, and see how many of these answers you can get right. We're going to review them at our very next lesson. All right? Take care. I do hope you have a wonderful, week ahead of you. Remember, be the smartest one in the class, because you got it like that. Because you've got Math Matters to help you through those matters. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye now.